Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we got something that's a little bit different for you. We're going to be talking about Centerfire and my new dive into a different kind of sport, different kind of competition, and some unique things like an Australian chassis and a Canadian action. So let's get into it. Well, you know things are getting out of hand when you got to stop and back the camera up just to capture everything we're going to talk about today. And you can't even see the handgun, and yeah, we'll get in that later. But we are going to be diving into sniper DMR matches. And more importantly, we're going to talk about this chassis here, this Canadian action, my handgun, and this style of competition, because even if you're a rimfire guy, don't click off just yet. I think that this style match format is coming to you, and I know from this channel and from our local area, we are starting these matches. As a matter of fact, by the time you're watching this, I have probably shot and filmed the first rimfire style of these matches, and they're a ton of fun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to chapter this, so if you're not interested in one part or most parts of this, you can feel free to skip ahead. But before you do, I want to thank our channel sponsors, Utah Airguns. Those guys have a massive amount of airgun stuff, as you can imagine, but they also have a lot of cool things just for precision rifle. They've got bags, tripods, bipods, MDT stuff, gray op stuff, everything in between. Do me a favor, go check them out because they're helping me bring you guys this content. So we appreciate them for that. UtahAirguns.com. They will get you right. All right, so the more interesting thing we have here today, and I'm going to mispronounce this, if you're Australian, you know, hold the hate mail, the Manael Sedejo. This is an Australian chassis. This is offered by a company called Ignition Custom. That's who you can find online if you're looking for this. And you can see this is a 700 short action chassis, and it is very solid, very robust. I'm quickly going to go over some of the details for those of you who may be interested. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is it has this flared magwell, and that's probably my favorite part about this. The magwell is very forgiving for centerfire or rimfire. It does have an adjustable mag catch here, although I am going to take a few points off here by saying it is adjustable, but it is harder to adjust than most other chassis that I mess with. You have to drive the pin out of here, remove it, kind of move something, tighten it back up, install it again, and then try your fitment. For me, I had adjustable mag catches for the rimfire, and on the centerfire, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. But as you can see here, you've got an assortment of Mirage shields. You've got all sorts of accessories from them. We've got our thumb rest here that's up here on M-lock. On this side, we have our more traditional thumb rest that we can use to get a good grip on this. And overall, it's very solid. The adjustments you would typically see on a high-end chassis are here. You have adjustable cheek riser, adjustable length of pull, and these have very nice big knobs. It's almost hard to express without feeling it, but it is very comfortable. So you can use this as a bag rider. You can drop this down, and that's going to work out just fine. Again, nice, big, wide cheek piece. I really like that. And as you're seeing the close-ups of this, you're going to notice that this has some sharp edges. This is kind of like an early prototype. The production model you would buy from these guys do not have these sharp edges. Now, they also have internal weights that are available for these, so it is a full service chassis. My experience shooting this, I shot it with both rimfire and centerfire. We shot it competition, and it performed great for me. I saw no disadvantage to using this. Huge thanks to Ignition Custom. Huge thanks to Jason. You know who you are. He lugged this across the world to bring it to me at Nationals. And I'm talking about Nationals 2023. That's how long I've been testing and playing with this. So this isn't a 1 week turnaround review. You guys know we don't do that. I've spent a considerable amount of time with this, and I really do think it is a great chassis option. So moving on to the competition rifle you see before me, I have put a different optic on this, but I have shot both the Tracked and the Theos on this as I was playing with this in competition, and I did shoot this rifle in my last 2 competitions of the season for the Sniper DMR series. Now on the last 2, I did take a 3rd and 2nd place in my division, and this rifle has performed really well for me. I actually only doped this out to 400 yards because that's all my range allowed for, so I have actually really never truly verified the dope. But with the help of my buddy John, we were able to come up with a quick load for this, and what we ended up shooting was Starline Brass 75 ELDMs and your run-of-the-mill CCI primers, and that was shooting sub half MOA. So for the DMR matches, that was totally fine. Now, I did get this barrel throated kind of long, and as you can see, we are running a pretty long bullet. And I say that because the one negative thing I am going to say about this rifle with the Pristine Canadian action is that it is a push feed. And being a rimfire guy coming into Centerfire, I had no idea that if you load a long pointy 223 and you want that to feed super reliably, then a push feed action may not be your best bet. It's going to work for just about everything if I put regular 77 OTMs in here, fed like a dream, but having these really pointy 75 ELDMs, they did have a tendency on usually the first round to kind of catch on the inside of the barrel and just want to hang there. I did kind of figure out that you just kind of needed to send it on the first one, and being a rimfire guy, that was one obstacle that I had to overcome. So I'm not going to totally blame the action, it's just the design. It's a push feed, and I'm loading super long pointy 223s, and I probably should have just ran the 77 OTMs.
So what I would do, I would say, don't set it under your rifle when you stage it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Set it off to the side. So
As far away as it can be.
Yeah, that it's not up under the rifle.
True that.
And
So one of the big things here is not only how good the action was or the barrel or the combination of these, and these worked exceptionally well for me, but how hard was it for me as a rimfire shooter to transition over to Centerfire? And honestly, it wasn't that hard. All the principles I work on, they all contributed to me being able to successfully shoot this Centerfire rifle, with the exception of one thing, and that's recoil control. Usually on my first or second stage, on those first shots, I kind of had to remind myself that I kind of need to pull into the gun a little bit tighter. And it's not like this was recoiling me crazy. It's 223. It's a very heavy setup with a ginormous brake on the end of it. It handled the recoil fine, but even with that being said, if you free recoil this rifle, you are probably not going to see your hits and misses, especially if you are kind of dialed in and trying to see that little bit of detail. As you're seeing in some of the match footage, I had absolutely no problems running this. Now, if you're paying close attention, you're going to see some changes. We ran both the Tracked and the Theos scope on this rifle in competition. We ran it both in this chassis and we ran it in the Manael Sedejo chassis because I wanted to try some different things. But one other small change was the muzzle brake.
Impact! Impact!
Impact! Impact! Now, if you're a keen observer, you're going to see in the first match we ran this 6mm Rytec, and this is a buddy of mine here local to me. And if you picked up on it in the B-roll when we're loading some of these 75 ELDMs, there is a massive reloading block in there, and that's from the same people who made this brake. Now, a good thing about this brake is I'm rolling it into a new build that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But as you can tell, compared to this brake, it's a lot shorter, a lot more compact, and it handled the recoil just as well. Now, it is 223, so we're not talking massive recoil, but I really saw no fundamental difference between the MDT brake and the Rytec brake, and the Rytec being much smaller. So the Sniper DMR match being what it is a two-gun match. So as you've seen, you're gonna run a pistol and a rifle. You may start with one or the other, but I have been running my CZ Shadow 2. Now, this is basically a stock Shadow 2, but it has been converted to single action only from Cajun Gunworks, and this thing is pretty freaking slick. So I'm gonna get all up in your personal space here and try and show you just how nice this trigger is. We have a little bit of take up, not much, and then we hit a very solid wall, and then about maybe 2.5 pounds, and this thing goes off like a dream, breaks like glass. This is a very, very solid pistol for the money. It is a heavy pistol, and the only thing I would really change on this right now is that I am still running irons while everybody else is running dots. I don't need a dot to shoot a pistol, but this is a game of speed. The entire basis of the DMR match is cleaning your targets in the fastest amount of time possible. So we are going to make some changes for the 2024 season. I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride on more videos for that. But the first change is we are going to get this milled. We are going to put a dot on it. It's going to be the Hollow Sun 507 competition. And we're going to run this with a dot and see if we can improve some of our pistol times. And we're making one major change to the rifle that hopefully is going to make me a lot more competitive. So as far as the rifle is concerned, in 2024, I am going to be running a gas gun build. And yeah, this is totally incomplete. I have it basically done, but I'm waiting on the barrel. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be running a varmint style taper and a Lilja barrel with a JP low mass bolt carrier group. And this is sitting on an ADAC lower, a Sergeant of Arms upper with an integrated ARCA, and this thing is going to be pretty freaking sweet. Again, we're going to be running the Rytec muzzle brake on there. I think it's going to do one heck of a job. We have the Timney Calvin Elite in here. I absolutely love this trigger on the AR. I figured I've had so much success with Timney in the past that I'm not going to stray now. I just want this gun to be super reliable, and hopefully to get us there, we got some brand new Starline brass. We have some Sierra 77 grain TMKs and some more old trusty Vargets. So we are going to start doing load development as soon as the barrel comes. I'm going to do my best to get you guys more footage of that, and more importantly, I'm going to bring more footage of this style of competition. Now, if you're a Rimfire guy, I do encourage you to look for the future video that you're going to see on the Rimfire series, because it is an absolute blast. I'm hoping to see that format spread because we have had so much fun shooting it. We did shoot one of those matches last year that I know that you guys will love it too. But more footage to come specifically on this rifle, on the Shadow 2 once we get the dot on there, and of course of the Rimfire series of this. So hopefully this isn't going to scare any of you guys off. This is still a 90% Rimfire channel, but I am going to be having some fun with 223, and I hope that you guys will also join me on that. And if you're still watching this video, do me another favor, hit that subscribe button, click the like, share it with your buddies, and make sure that notification's turned on. YouTube likes to roll through every now and again, and you may no longer be subscribed, you may not have the notifications on, and you might be missing some of this content. I truly appreciate that, guys. I appreciate all of you for watching this. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.